Welcome to the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast. My name is Katie Dodd. I am a nutrition entrepreneur, but here's the catch. I have a full-time traditional dietitian job. My entrepreneurial endeavors are my side hustle. I have been making six figures through my job and side hustle, doing things that I love. If I can do it, you can too. This podcast is for dietitians, interns, and students who want to be inspired to start or perfect the side hustle of their dreams. Let's do this. Welcome to the 26th episode of the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast, the many hats of a solopreneur. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about all of the different hats that you will be wearing as you start a business. Now, I know those of you who listen to the podcast, some of you already have a side hustle. Some of you are thinking about a side hustle. So regardless of where you are, maybe you're like, yeah, Katie, I get it. I'm wearing those hats. Or maybe you're at the point of like, oh, I didn't know I need to wear all those hats. But then also you might start to realize through this podcast episode that there's maybe some hats that you're not wearing that you realize you should. So just to throw it out really quick, when I'm talking about hats, I'm talking about roles. If you think about it, if you work a traditional job, there are many different departments of every business. So I'm going to break this down very simply because we know that very big businesses can get very complicated and it is very different by every business. But to put it on a very simple level, in my opinion, there are really four departments of every business. You have your department of marketing, the department of sales, the department of fulfillment, and the finance department. And then right in the middle is the CEO. So when you are the solopreneur, and by solopreneur, I mean that you are the entrepreneur, but you are the only one in your business. You are the director of every department in your business. So think of being a clinical dietitian. You work at a really big, robust outpatient clinic in your community. So if you think about that business, there is someone out there doing marketing. They are spreading the word about the services that outpatient facility provides. They are on social, they are doing billboards, they are getting the word out. And then there's a whole other department that's doing sales. Maybe they're doing some direct outreach with different, people in the community trying to get referrals, but they're the ones who really are closing the deals, making the sales. And then you have the finance department, and that department's very important. They're dealing with all of the, they're paying the bills, they're making sure the bills are paid, they're dealing with all the money stuff, right? Taxes, it's very important. So fulfillment is the piece that most people are doing, right? So an outpatient dietitian is being hired to do fulfillment. So if you work in a traditional job, you're hired to be a dietitian, you're doing fulfillment, you're not doing marketing, you're not doing sales, and you're not doing finance, and you're also not the CEO. You're not having that big vision and really making all the things happen. So I just want you to think of that when you are working in an outpatient job, there are all these different roles that are happening and someone else is doing them. So when you start a side hustle, when you start your own business, you are now the director of every department in your business. So what I want to talk about is all of the hats that you will be wearing. And I will say this can feel overwhelming, but I really don't want it to be overwhelming. I just want you to have a really good picture of what it means to be a solopreneur. And maybe if you are a solopreneur and you're really struggling with your business, maybe this can explain like why you're struggling. And I will say, as dietitians, we are taught how to do fulfillment, right? I mean, that's really the main thing we're taught. We're not taught marketing. We're not taught sales. We're not taught finances. And I will tell you, as I have been, in the side hustle world, I started to realize that being a dietitian means very little for having success in business. It's really all about the marketing and the sales and the finance piece. The dietitian piece is very, very small because the reality is that you can be the best dietitian in the world, but if you suck at marketing, no one's going to know how awesome you are. Or you could be, I won't say the worst dietitian, I will say you're not a dietitian. You are just a health guru talking about nutrition. And you could not be very good at that. But if you are an expert marketer, you'll probably make a lot of money and maybe spread the wrong information, but whatever. So I really want to drive home how important it is to learn these business schools, understand and recognize that you were not taught this in school, Most of you, if you were, I'd love to hear from you. That's amazing. But most of you were not taught these skills, and that's okay. But if you want to make money, if you want to have a side hustle, you want to be a solopreneur, you need to take the time to learn marketing, sales, finances. You need to have the big vision of a CEO. So let's kind of talk about all of these roles. So I do want to provide some clarification about these departments of the business I'm talking about. So the marketing department, this is really how you find your ideal client and how you nurture that audience. The sales department is where you convert your audience into a paid customer. So we know that we're always going to have a lot of, well, hopefully we'll have a lot of people hearing about our stuff, but we know that not every single person who hears about what we do is going to buy from us. We know that that audience is very, very small. But we do want to make sure that our marketing efforts turns into conversions. So we actually get paying customers because, again, we are running businesses and we want to have people paying because that's just how business works. If you can't pay your bills, you're not going to stay in business too long. Fulfillment, again, is to fulfill what your customer bought. So again, that would be the role of the dietitian. If you are working in any job where really you're being paid full time, you're probably doing fulfillment, right? You are fulfilling a service. And then finally, the finance department is really just the back end management of your business, dealing with all the numbers. So let's talk about all the hats. So when you're wearing all the hats, when you first start as a solopreneur, you're going to wear all the hats in the beginning. But my hope is that you have a long-term vision of recognizing that you're not always going to wear all the hats. As you continue to grow and scale your side hustle or business, the vision should be to use your money to make money, right? Take that money, invest and hire a virtual assistant. Pay for someone to do those tasks, maybe the low-end tasks, maybe the tasks you don't like to do. Pay someone else to do them, and that way you can do what you truly love to do, or maybe the higher-end stuff that really only you can do. So, in the beginning, unless you are willing to take out a loan, get some debt, and pay someone else to do this up front, you're going to have to do all the things. And if you don't do all the things, then you might not have the success you're hoping for, or it might just take longer. So just keep that in mind. Most of us, when we start, we are doing all the things. We are the director of every department or every role. But again, this is just in the beginning. If you truly grow and scale your business, then really the goal would be long-term that you're not doing all the things. Because if you think about like a hospital, right? The director of the hospital isn't doing marketing. He's not doing sales. He's not doing the finances. He is the visionary. He is the one who's doing the leadership, making sure all the moving pieces work. So really your long-term goal would be the solopreneur CEO. Okay, so I'm going to talk about those 4 departments, and I'm going to break down some of the different hats that you might wear under each of these departments. Keep in mind, everyone has a different side hustle or business that they're doing, and if you are seeing patients versus maybe blogging, those are 2 very different roles, but I still believe that the basic concepts of business is the same regardless. So, when it comes to your marketing department, these are just some of the hats that you might be wearing. Well, first off, you are the director of marketing for your business. You are the head of communications. You're the public relations manager. You are the social media manager, the email manager, the graphic designer, the video developer, and whatever other role might come along with marketing. So you are the one who is having the vision of how do I get the word out to my ideal client? Where do they live, online or in person? And how can I best communicate to them? And once you figure that out, you're the one in charge of making the pretty graphics, making the cool videos, and figuring out just really how all the pieces work. So within the sales department, you are the director of sales, you are the scheduler, you are the salesperson, the call staff, and the closer. So you would be the person who has a discovery call and you get a client on a call, and your job is to convert that person on the call into a sale. So those are all of the hats that you might be wearing within the sales department. Fulfillment department. You are the lead dietitian. You are the content creator. If you are a blogger like I am, you are the SEO expert, search engine optimization. You are the keyword researcher if you are, again, a blogger. And depending on what you do, maybe you're the writer, maybe you're a website manager. So you're fulfilling and doing all of the things. And then finally, within the finance department, you are the chief financial officer, the CFO. You are also the bookkeeper, and you are the accountant. Again, you can hire out some things, but in the beginning, most solopreneurs are doing it all themselves. What are some other roles? Of course, Chief Executive Officer, you are the CEO, you are the visionary, you are the policy and procedure manager, you are quality management, you are human resources, you are customer service. If someone has a question about your business, they're probably going to be contacting you. And if you need to troubleshoot, problem solve, it's really all on you. So, I know that sounds like a lot, and the truth is that in the beginning, the solopreneur does wear all the hats. But really, the goal, guys, is to make sure that at the end, as you have big vision about what your side hustle or business is going to look like, that you only wear the hats that you can and want to wear. So, I know this was me throwing out a bunch of different roles and hats, but again, the piece that I want you to think about in your own business. Is there an area that you think that you are struggling in? Maybe you're like, you know what? I'm not doing a very good job at marketing. Or maybe you're like, man, I am killing it in the marketing department. Like my social following is like on fire, engagement is awesome, but I can't convert that engagement into paying clients. So maybe your struggle is, sales, or maybe you are making money, but you're also investing into your business and you're not really taking home much, right? You're not giving yourself a paycheck. So maybe you need to work on the finance department. So I would really encourage you, if you have a side hustle or a business, to evaluate what are all of the roles that you're currently doing. What are all the hats that you're wearing? And when you think of those 4 departments, is there any hat that maybe you're not wearing? Maybe there's a whole department in your business that is not up and running, and it should be. And if you are just starting as an entrepreneur, I want you to start thinking about all of the hats that you will need to wear as you start your business. Now, again, I know it sounds overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. It's very basic in a lot of ways. I mean, maybe if you're an online dietitian and you choose to use social media for your marketing, start there, start on one platform. It doesn't have to be crazy. You can listen to my previous episode about being omnipresent. So I do like the idea of having a presence everywhere, but really being active on 1 or 2 platforms. But again, if you're just starting out, sit down, think about those departments, think about all those roles, because I truly believe that's what's going to give you the most success, is if you make sure that your business is running like a business should. Because yes, you're a dietitian. Yes, you have the credentials. Yes, you are the expert. But if you are not a business person, then you're not going to have success and you're not going to be able to help people. And that's really what we want to do, is we want to be able to help and serve people through our businesses. So I hope that you were able to maybe learn a little bit about all the hats of an entrepreneur, a solopreneur. There's probably more or maybe less. Again, it depends so much on what you're doing. But your action item for today, I kind of said it, but I'm just going to reiterate it. If you have a business or a side hustle right now, I want you to evaluate all of the hats that you wear. Look at those 4 departments. Look at the marketing, sales, fulfillment, and finance department. And is there anything that you're lacking, any hat you need to take on? Or maybe if you have the budget, or if you're willing to go into a little debt for your business, is there anyone that you're willing to hire out to do the work? And if you are just starting or starting to dream, I want you to really write down and figure out, what are the things that I need to do to have a successful business? If you realize I know nothing about marketing, then I want you to learn how to market. We live in an amazing age. You can Google and find anything. There are free resources. There are podcasts. There are paid resources. You can take a course and get a business coach. There are lots of different things that you can do to learn these skills. So yeah, that's my action items for you. So I think I am done for the day. I really appreciate you guys listening, and yeah, I'll chat with you guys next time. Bye.